Katowice 2019 champion stage occurred, and it was such an emotional roller coaster to start us off.
True when the guns are brought out, but for now it certainly is. The first kill, though, goes the way of Flamey. Flamey's got another. Nubox is preoccupied. If he wraps in, they're both gone for it. You know, they're going to push it all together. Bomb's team, he's got a swing. They know that. Flamey, he gets an ace. Welcome to Sponic, everybody. Hatched another plan with the first. Cavalier, he tries to peek it again, and he will. He absolutely will. Half human, half machine, looking straight through the lens.
Our second match of the day was ENCE versus Liquid, and oh my. I think everyone was shocked by the result of this one. ENCE picking Mirage as the opening map, a map Liquid is famous for being so strong on historically, and they dispatch of Liquid easily in this game.
Oh, can he find that he plays down on the bench? Yes, he can. A chance. They do have control of the bomb, and that to get deployed onto the side to try and skew the mission. Oh, what a flick off to Sergey that is! Anticipating an Alu push. He comes through the shadows. Oh, that's ineffable from that fly. Early, and then Snow is going to have to get into position. Here comes Stewie, able to get one, nearly a second. That fly comes out. Real triples up. This now could possibly go the way of ENCE, and it has. Very well followed. Bomb's been planted, couple kills traded, but still in favor of ENCE. Oh no, Stewie 2Ks came in with 3, and Stewie 2K with a 4K. It's the back of one of these angles, and it's down to Twist again. They know exactly where he is. He's going to land there. Shot. T2 kills to his name's going to add another one, and here's the crossfire. 20 seconds left, and Ali chipped in for a third and a fourth. ENCE have done it. They pulled off the upset.
The first day had a lot of surprises. It was so awesome to see all the ENCE fans gathered around. The crowd was roaring in day one, and really excited to see what day two has to offer.
These are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
Welcome to the Acer Predator pre-show.
The major that keeps delivering continues. Day 2 of the Champions stage. So much Counter-Strike has been played over the course of these 3 weeks, but now the crowd are here. And they're here from all over the world. We had the opportunity to meet some of the fans this morning, and my goodness, China, Australia, you name it, they're here. And it is truly a global game. The teams, not only that, but the fans in the Spodek, everyone here to celebrate the game they love and see the very best of them duke it out. We had so much fun Counter-Strike yesterday and some surprises, some eyebrow raisers. I am joined by 2 of the many whose eyebrows were raised. I got Sadakist and Henry G.
I think that's putting it lightly.
Do you reckon?
Mine were furrowed, I think, quite
Furrowed?
stiffly. I was quite, look.
Was there a fist and a desk involved, Matt?
There was a fist, a desk, and a Pepsi that may have hit the ground from said desk. Don't know who put that there, careless of them.
was that the Liquid game? And can we talk about this as well?
Okay, so we might as well address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, everyone wants a little behind-the-scenes content. It's a pretty special event, very cool events in many ways. So we've decided to bring a few people along with us. So if you were watching this segment live, you can let me know in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to say.
Hello, YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to break the space-time continuum.
He never takes
this
off. He's been wearing it for like 3 weeks straight now.
It's true.
In bed, in the bathroom, everything.
Definitely in bed.
Yeah.
No, but to the Liquid game, yeah. I mean, it's it was difficult for me. I really want to see Canadians succeed.
I get that.
And I really want to see Liquid rise to the occasion, and I think that they have a great chance of being the team to beat ASTRALIS. Can't be disappointed with ENCE.
No.
Cannot be disappointed with ENCE.
And that's where I wanted to take it next. Of course, if you missed it, definitely worth checking out that game. After today, of course, you need to watch these games. They're going to be fantastic as well. But ENCE, it is, I mean, this is a justified run. A lot of people are talking about this like this is a true underdog who's met a level.
It feels like it's a bit of a Cinderella story going on right now. I don't think they're going to get much further than the semi-final. That's amazing already, you know, that's awesome. But I feel like that was Liquid losing that second map more than it was ENCE winning it, to be honest. That was more of Liquid of old, the kind of sort of results we expect, and they were just like kind of sorting those issues out. But obviously this is a newer team with Stewie coming in, maybe a few more kinks to sort out before they can move on.
Yeah, it's a big loss. I think the word Stewie used was, it's a shame that it was this team, this event we had to lose, but I'm glad we got the loss done now, you know. It happened to be the major.
You learn a lot more from the losses than you do the wins, right? So yes, it sucks that it happened here, but they're going to learn a lot from it. They're not going to change roster or anything. They've got a great team on paper there, and it will develop and be something fantastic in the future.
I do want to touch on the other game we witnessed, Matt, FaZe Na'Vi. I mean, I feel like that was more of a predictable result, but Na'Vi do look like a contender now for finals.
They do look like a contender. That was a much better team, I have to say. They turned things around significantly going into that series. And sure, FaZe had their issues as well, and we saw a lot of issues from them throughout. But Na'Vi addressed theirs. I'm kind of glad that they played each other in the quarterfinal, because I would have had either of those teams in the back end of the top 4, but not both. Definitely not both. So we had that heads-to-heads. Both teams are struggling. Now we get the better of the two, and we can move forward.
Yeah, and now I've got a lot of fun for everyone at home as well. Thank you so much, fellas. This has been fun. But an interesting one, we actually asked teams coming into the major, we're talking way back, before the challenges even started, who to look out for, who were the up-and-coming teams that they had to keep an eye on. Let's see what they had to say.
Top upcoming team defeater. Yeah, probably one of the Asian teams, Vici Greyhound. I think they surprised everyone at the event.
I would definitely think about Furia. It is Furia because I think they showed a lot of good signs, and also ENCE.
I think if ENCE counts as an upcoming team, then definitely ENCE.
Honestly, coming into the major, I thought Vitality was like one of the stronger ones coming into it, just because the younger players like Zayu and then the older players being like MBK and RPK.
Vitality, since they have been showing great results lately and they still have Zayu.
Renegades have been playing out of their mind for this tournament because they're playing really good Counter-Strike from what I've seen, but let's wait maybe to see them play against bigger teams.
Well, we saw how that worked out. Of course, Renegades are battling it out in the quarterfinal today. They take on MIBR, and that's going to be a big conversation. Of course, our first game, so don't panic if you are up over in the Australian region. What time is it in Australia? I don't know. I'll ask our analysts. None other than Jacob Pimp-Vinegar and Sean Gares. What is it? Are they behind, ahead? One of you is intelligent.
They're in the upside down.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Hi. We have got Renegades versus MIBR first, and that is going to be a fantastic game. And ASTRALIS NIP coming up after that. Fellas, yesterday, we've already had the casters talk about it, but it is so cool to see such a justified... We've been talking about this format being fair and how underdogs have to work for it and have to really grind. The fact that they've managed to find themselves in a semi-final, the ENCE storyline gets better and better.
It surely does, and it just sees that this seeding system has worked the way they wanted it to, right? Because ENCE have had their struggles in this tournament. Let's not forget that. They lost twice to Renegades, which we're going to see in a second. So it's not that ENCE has been cruising through the system or been cruising through the semi-final. They really had to struggle and work their way for it. But what we saw yesterday was just another level of ENCE, and that was very pleasant to see.
And Ala did an excellent job of explaining this, actually, in the documentary. He said, give me big, give me liquid. It doesn't matter. They're going to run into the train. I mean, he may have sprinkled a couple profanities in there.
I would imagine.
But let's skip that part.
Yeah, and Alu, of course, incredible. The fact that this guy is still fragging and just completely impervious to pressure. We'll see more from them, of course, when we get to the semi-finals. We need to find out who they'll be playing, though, of course. More quarters coming up today, as is more talent. Not only us at the desk, and of course, the casters you've already met. We have Frankie, who's hanging out backstage behind the gorgeous Spodek stage. Let's see what she's up to today.
Hello, guys. You look
Hiya.
so nice today, Alex.
I'm liking the leopard print too.
Thank you. I thought I'd make an effort, and then you went and outdid me.
It's a tactical neck.
Yeah, tactical neck. I think I need one of those. I might borrow your wardrobe for the next event
I'm down.
we work together,
we can swap.
Alex. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to be backstage as I was yesterday. I will be doing those exit interviews with the teams that don't make it through to the semi-finals, which is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, these teams, obviously, they want that trophy very badly, and then they have to come and talk to me, and that's probably adds insult to injury, let's face it. But I'm also going to be talking to the coaches as well before we go into those matches, some of the players as well, trying to pick their brains a bit and help you guys predict what's going to happen on that stage today.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Frankie. Giving us that extra insight that we otherwise just simply wouldn't have. Sometimes 140 character tweet before a game doesn't really give us a true taste of how the players are feeling coming into it. And it's all about the subtleties, you know? If I'm seeing a frowny player coming into it, I know we're either going to have some fragging or some body bagging. But Sean.
Yeah, I mean, Ence's interviews yesterday should have told us everything. They looked so calm, right? They looked like they were about to win. They knew something that we didn't know, and it showed in the interviews.
Yeah, you can see the bracket, of course. These are your games coming up, and it was a 2-0. That is what I don't want to harp on. I promise after this pre-match, we will stop talking about the dismantling of Team Liquid. But the reason it is such a conversation topic is because expectations were set so high.
They were set high for Liquid, and I think justifiable as well. I think Liquid looked good coming into this bracket of play. And, you know, as we said before, they were struggling a little bit getting into the quarterfinal, but when they first got there, they're just playing on a new level, whereas for Liquid, it seemed like they sort of like played up to the level of a position in a way where we saw Liquid disappoint a lot. They should have won that second map, and who knows what would have happened on the third. It could have gone both ways at that point. So Liquid, a big disappointment, but as Stewie 2K said, sometimes you just have to lose to learn, and hopefully it's going to be a great learning experience for Liquid.
I actually love that, lose to learn.
I mean, it's definitely true. Whenever you lose, you go back over those demos, you fix whatever mistakes you made. But when you win, it's hard to get the motivation amongst all 5 players to, you know, correct the things that you did wrong, even though you won the match.
One thing I really want to mention here in regards to the Liquid thing is we saw in the after interview with Twist saying that they prepared a lot for this matchup, and they sort of over-prepared. They had a lot of ideas of what was going to happen, but they didn't have the answers to what to do in certain situations. So it's also a learning experience for the coach, Adrian. He's new to this lineup as well. They need to implement him and need to understand how he wants to prepare for certain games and stuff. And unfortunately, again, it was the first big tournament for them, and it just had to be the major.
It must be such a tough cookie to crack. I mean, you've got don't over-prepare because that will happen to you, but then if you under-prepare, you end up just saying, we're going to play our game, and then you get 2-0'd. So it's a balance.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely looked flat. I'm not going to lie, but it looked like they were overthinking at every turn. They looked so much more crisp when you watched them against Na'Vi.
I don't want to talk about MIBR, given that we are getting to see some of their fragging. And I say some of their, I'm probably called Zera, because he's had such a tournament, Sean, right?
Good God, yeah. Whenever you watched MIBR so far this tournament, it was just vintage, you know, Brazilian Counter-Strike. Cold Zera winning these crazy D rounds like this.
It is all Cold Zera.
2v5s in the B site where he's getting so many post-plant kills. And that's what these teams are designed to do, right? Cold Zera is designed to succeed in these post-plant and late-round scenarios.
I mean, he's leading in damage per round per player so far in the tournament. He's leading in, I think, opening success rate as well, or at least up there. He's number 2 in kill-death differential, and he's number 2 in certain other categories. Cold Zera is having a tournament of his life right now, and that's needed if MIBR wants to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And with MIBR, I do feel like we haven't talked about them enough. I mean, they are in the quarterfinals. They are about to, of course, be talked about a whole lot, taking on Renegades. But this is a roster that you'd probably put in the kind of category of FaZe Clan, where unrealized potential. Wouldn't you say, Sean?
I would say so, yeah. We haven't seen fully what MIBR has to offer. We don't even really know how deep their map pool is when you watch them. They seem overly aggressive, but with that being said, they have the highest 5 versus 4 conversion rate on their T side amongst any of the teams in the tournament. So they're doing a lot of things right, but they also look a little flat when you watch them sometimes.
And that's the thing. We just need to give them some more time. We need to give them a game in a quarterfinal at a major to finally get a picture of what MIBR is. As said, we haven't seen them a lot. We do not know about their map pool yet, but we're going to be much more smart on that matter after this game.
No, absolutely. And NIP, of course, are going to be playing as well versus Astralis. It's a tall task, and I mean, they're not lying when they say NIP's fan base are here. I have seen so many Ninjas in Pajamas jerseys, guys, and they are going to be taking on Astralis in our second quarterfinal today. We're actually going to recap their road to the Champions stage and see exactly how easy it was for the Ninjas.
I think we played good except one day, which was against MIBR. That was the one time where we kind of collapsed as a team. Some issues we had going on during the game, but we had a good talk. It was a good thing that we had a day off as well, so we could talk it through. But other than that, I think we played up to our pair, and I think we can get even better. In the end, it's just because I think we know what we need to do to secure the wins, right? Even though it's going to be some back and forth between games, I think we all knew what we had to do, and I think we showed it here today as well. Expectations for the next stage is go all the way to reach the final for sure. I think doesn't matter who we match up against. I think we can at least give them a fight, and I know we can go to the final. It's gonna be amazing to play in Spodek again. It's been far too long, and I'm just gonna enjoy the moment.
They truly are moments that you will treasure forever. There is magic in the Spodek, and we saw a little glimmer of it yesterday. More to come, of course, as we get deeper and deeper to crowning a major champion, the first of 2019. Now, with all of that said, they did say we can face any opponent. Of course, we'll cover this in the pre-match when we get to it. But a lot of people seem to echo that sentiment that if anyone was going to do it, the Ninjas could.
I think it's just the team with the most experience, especially in this arena and in this environment, playing in the Spodek arena. It's something they tried so many times before. They won a major here as well, so they know what it's all about. They have that experience. They have that sort of like, how do you say, like aura around them, where they can perform in certain circumstances. That said, though, NIBR haven't really been a team to be reckoned with as of late.
No, yeah. What I like when I watch NIP is they have a lot of grit, right? They can grind through matches. They can get the 16-14 wins. That's why one of the few teams that can beat Astralis. They've won 3 out of their last 6 against them. Not many teams can say that. Not even, you know, probably no team in the top 10 can say they've won half their maps against Astralis in their last 6.
No, that's just testament to what the Ninjas might be doing later on today. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. And now we want to focus on the match in hand. MIBR are taking on Renegades, and we actually have an opportunity to hear from Zeus. Of course, ex-Liquid coach. He departed. Let's not forget that loss when we consider Liquid's loss. But we do have Zeus in the MIBR jersey standing by for an interview.
Zeus, I know that you've been practicing with you guys for the last few days, watching those demos. So what did you think of the team's performance back at the Legend stage?
Legend stage, I think teams were already better prepared than the Challenger stage. Everyone had already a bit of rhythm. They started showing up. You have teams like ENCE who were 0-2 and come back 3-2 and even managed to win against Liquid. So it's kind of insane how everybody's performing. I'm just trying to point out that you can't take anybody out of competition. Everyone's just prepared for this major.
But specifically, what did you learn about your team and what they need to do to get through to the semi-final tomorrow?
I think we need to have emotional stability, and we need to just focus on really playing a solid match. Renegades is shown that they're a really cohesive team. They have a solid map pool, and they play together. It's not an individual performance thing, so we have to shut the team down, not 1 or 2 players.
You mentioned emotional stability. What are the emotions like for the team going into this match?
Going into this, I don't know. I think it's kind of, we don't know if we're underdogs, if we're the favorites. It's kind of up in the air. So we just hope to have a good match. We're having a lot of fun. We're always singing, talking crap, and that's how we like to do it. So it's just the Brazilian way.
I feel like Taco's probably the one singing, but I actually want to ask you about Feltz, because we've spoken a lot about Taco coming back into the team. But actually, Feltz made a return in January as well. So what's it been like fitting him back into the roster?
So for Phelps, I think he had a really big learning experience when he was outside, different than other people. When he left SK back in the day, he actually went back to Brazil. So he was away from the spotlight, so he really matured a lot. His head has changed, how he deals with criticism, how he learns, and now he's not looking to be a star player. He wants to be that guy who just fits into the spots that we need, and he has the right attitude for it. So I think for him, his biggest growth was all in the mind.
Now, we've seen you guys play Inferno a lot so far here at the Major. I'm guessing we might see it today, but, you know, no spoilers. You've been known to be a bit slow to start on that map, have some dodgy CT sides, but then you've also been known to absolutely shine on it. So is this something you've been working on for today?
Yeah, Inferno and every other map with Renegades, since they have such a broad map pool, we really aren't sure of the vetoes, which is kind of rare in competition. We don't face them too much. They have a different lineup, so do we. So it's going to be interesting. We prepared Inferno, but I don't know. Let's see what the maps are going to be first.
Okay, well, I guess the desk is going to be able to break that map pool down for us very shortly indeed. So good luck today, Zeus. Good luck to MIBR. And I have to not be biased. Oh, thank you very much. I thought I'd go wild, but, you know, Brazilian team and that. Let's head back to the desk.
I liked the half-ass claw. Wild. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Okay, cool. So we just generated some GIFs. Good job, everyone. But interestingly enough, MIBR, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me from that interview is it's all mental talk. Phelps is changing as a player, mentality in the team, emotional stability. Those are pretty much all Zeus is talking about. We're not talking about strats. We're talking about heads.
I couldn't agree more, though, when Zeus says it's all in their head, right? When you watch Phelps play, or at least me as someone that's played against Phelps, I think he's one of the most skilled players I've played against. But you look at his stats, and it's not really it's not transferring, you know, in the game right now when you watch him. And the same thing goes for Fallen. Fallen has really struggled in the Legend stage. So the fact that MIBR still sits 3-1 is a true testament to how well structured they are and how good they are as a team.
It is a little bit scary to think that Phelps haven't really been performing for this MIBR lineup, and as you said, they're still doing so well as they are. Another scary thing that I take from this interview is that they want Phelps to be that support player, so to speak. They want him to fill out the gaps where it's needed. I mean, as you said, I played with him against him a lot as well, and he is one of the most talented players within the game. He's so explosive, he's so good with his aim, and Phelps is a force to be reckoned with. So if they let him loose at some point during this major, that's when MIBR gets real scary.
Of course, the newest additions, if you haven't caught MIBR in a while, Taco, Phelps, and Zeus are all back in that jersey and looking to frag. Now, of course, they're looking to enhance their game by stabilizing their mental state. If you want to enhance your viewing experience, you can do so nice and easy. Just add the _premium to the very tippy top of that URL bar, and you can go ahead and get stuff like interactive clicking on the players to see stats, other information like that. You can bring up the scoreboard, minimap sizes, modes, and more, and it all starts once that match goes live. You can see it there on your screen. So that's something you can do. Once again, it's just adding _, so it's ESL, CSGO, and then _premium if you want to check that out. But with all of that said, the Counter-Strike is about to commence. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to break it all down, get the vetoes, and get the game started as Day 2 in the glorious Spodek continues after this.
The world's best gamers demand a high level of performance, so we've introduced the 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processor. In celebration with our community, we're taking a winner and a guest to one of 9 VIP experiences, including Intel Extreme Masters Chicago, by hosting the 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processor Dream Stakes. Witness world-class Counter-Strike action powered by Intel as North American teams fight the European superstars to raise the Intel Extreme Masters trophy in the Windy City.
When we decided to bring the Intel Extreme Masters to Chicago and the Midwest, our goals were to create a flagship esports event to encourage growth for the region. We hope having an event as big as this in a more centralized location can really draw in more North American esports fans. Intel's support helps ensure the highest level of performance for all of our events. It's allowed us to come to Chicago last year, move into the United Center in 2019, and take on many new challenges in the future. No matter where the Intel Extreme Masters is in the world, each tournament brings its own unique memories.
Chicago will be no different, and the Intel Dream Stakes can allow you to experience that in the best way possible.
Enter for a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to experience the action live in the legendary United Center and get the latest 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processor. Runners-up will receive one of hundreds of other prizes. Visit corei9.intel.com to enter now.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
Think he can't capture a clutch in full resolution while streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The synergy of brute strength, born of elite core power, to thrive under pressure in the most hostile conditions, and built to overclock. Prepare for combat. Go forth and conquer.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Pay Safeguard.
MIBR, they are legends of the game. They've been around forever. They have won a lot of tournaments. And now they're back to 5 of Brazilians. So they have this family thing in their team. And I think that's going to take them back to where they belong.
Renegades, a team that really impressed everyone on this competition. It's a matchup that we have a lot of history playing against, and some of encounters we lost, some of encounters we won, and both teams know each other pretty well, so it's going to be a very interesting match, but I have good hopes that we can take this and go to the semifinals.
We are just here to do our best, and if we can take it to the next step, everyone will be so excited.
I think our team is going to focus on playing a very solid game and being confident, and don't underestimate them and not think too much. If you start thinking too much about their game, we might get trapped into their minds, and we don't want to do that. We just want to focus on playing our best, and that should be enough to beat them.
I've been playing in this tournament multiple times in IEM Katowice, but I've never played in this deck. It looks so sick. So yeah, it's going to be amazing for sure.
My first big experience was here at Spodek. It was a crazy one. I'll never forget that. I'm pretty sure the Polish fans will go loud, and they will make a great show for everyone who loves Counter-Strike.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
That was Fallen there, saying just how much people are going to be enjoying this one if they love Counter-Strike. Well, you know what is kind of what IEM Katowice 2019 has been delivering. If you love Counter-Strike, you are in the right place. We've got 2 fantastic quarterfinals to find out how the semis are going to look already. We've had our fair share of surprises, of course. ENCE managing to thrive, as did Na'Vi just yesterday. And some of those games, and some of those maps, definitely worth checking out after this one does conclude. But it's nearly game time. Once again, introducing my analyst. I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. I'm joined by none other than Pimp and Sean Gares. Guys, this is it. An interesting statement from JChem, other than the fact that I think they're going to get back to full strength, which was an interesting opinion from the Norwegian, is he went on a record actually in an interview today saying, I think Renegades saved my career. The guy's been performing so damn well, and he kind of just lay dormant for what felt like years.
This is a guy that has a lot of history within Counter-Strike, right? He was part of one of the first iterations of FaZe lineup. He was in Cluj-Napoca with them when they managed to get to the semifinal. He was actually the best playing player in that entire tournament. Everyone was thinking to themselves, all right, JChem, he's the new future star. For some reason, he didn't really live up to that dignity, and he went down flat, as you said. He got left out of FaZe. He didn't really find a new team. He was playing with some Norwegians. He was playing in Dignitas at a point as well, where they were not good at all. So he definitely had a bad period in his career. Now he's back, where he's performing well. He's in a major quarterfinal, and he's one of the star players for Renegades. So he definitely turned it around.
I will never forget that Cluj-Napoca event where he placed 3rd, 4th. He had so many impactful rounds where he was playing hyper-aggressive. He's really changed the way he plays now, because you don't see him have those hyper-aggressive rounds anymore. He's very calm and conservative, and he'll strike obviously when he needs to. But that tournament was incredible to watch.
Absolutely, and this hopefully will be too. Let's go ahead and put Renegades under the microscope once more.
Yeah, I joined a year ago. I think I joined the 10th of February, to be exact. It's a pretty cool storyline, I guess. I was about actually to quit the game, kind of giving up on the dream. And then they contacted me and asked if I wanted to play for them for 3 months, because they had another player that was supposed to come in as the 5th. So I was only going to play a couple of tournaments. And then we did pretty decent, and I think I played pretty good as well. So they offered me a full-time contract. And now I'm here, top 8. I traveled to America and lived in America. So the way it changed was kind of like, it was CS all the time. There was nothing else. My plan was the 3 months going to be CS all the time and see how it goes. So the mindset of me was, there was nothing else outside of the game that could take me anywhere else, if it makes sense, yeah. So that was kind of how they changed my mindset. Well, the comeback versus Astralis was amazing. I think it's actually one of the sickest games I've ever been a part of.
and they're just picking them apart piece by piece. JKS getting one, finding two, finding a third. On the catwalk area, my goodness, nothing can be done, and the Renegades have upset Astralis in map 1 of this series.
I think the things that changed was that we got in 2 new players with a lot of motivation that haven't been on the big stage before. So they were very hungry to like prove that they're good enough to play on this level. It feels amazing. It really feels amazing to be on the big stage. I think everyone is really excited for it. I thought we could be there for sure, yeah.
Wow, you see Kassad there, usually a stalwart man, hard to crack a smile, but his emotions are rubbing off on me. I mean, it's just testament to how hard they worked for it. I think that was the conversation that we heard often in the Challenger stages, how much work they'd put into this event.
Yeah, that's really all you can say is how much work Renegades has put in. I remember in the Challenger stage, we said they've been in Poland for 6 weeks. Obviously now it's been 8 weeks. They've been in this country just boot camping nonstop, day after day after day, no days off. And it shows when you watch them play. They have one of the deepest map pools left in the tournament, which is shocking to say when you talk about a team like Renegades.
Yes, and talking of map pools, why don't we start that map conversation? So why is everyone saying Renegades have got such a deep map pool? And of course, what can they play and what are we not expecting to see?
I mean, it's because they can play 6 maps, I would say, to a high level. It's not necessarily that they play 7 maps, but the 6 maps they do play, they can pretty much beat anyone on if they have a good day, which is not something you can say about a lot of teams.
What about MIBR?
Not considering that. I mean, we don't really know it yet. We have to see. We'll get much more smart after we see the video, but I do think that MIBR is coming in prepared to this one as well. They've been boot camping, they've been expanding their map pool, and they definitely have something in the stones for us.
With that being said, MIBR is such a new lineup. I think it's virtually impossible for them to have a 6-map rotation in the way Renegades does. Renegades has that from that 8 weeks of boot camping, where they only don't play Overpass. And the one map we haven't seen them play, Train, was previously their best map.
Yeah, these guys are full on their way to applying for Polish citizenship. They've spent their entire 2019 in Katowice, but the grind is definitely being rewarded. They've picked up best of 3s versus Vitality, ENCE. They beat FaZe in a best of 1 on this very map, Inferno, and we're going to be seeing those maps come in now. So an Overpass ban, I'll let you guys jump in.
Overpass ban, we're going to see Cash probably gone out of the way as well from MIBR. I don't think that's a map they want to play. Now, that said, what do you pick if you're Renegades in this one?
Now, if you're Renegades, obviously you can you can pick a lot of different ways. You could pick Cash, you could pick Mirage, you could pick Inferno, you could pick Train. You can test, whatever map you want. Now, that's kind of surprising them picking Dust 2 because I actually thought MIBR was going to pick Dust 2 in this video, and the reason being is because at the last Face It Major, they told us that they were one of the best Dust 2 teams in the world. Now, we haven't seen this iteration of MIBR play Dust 2, but I would imagine Fallen still has that same confidence.
I would imagine so. I mean, imagine their double AWP. Their CT side, I'm pretty scared of going towards Fallen or Coldzera. I mean, it's an intriguing one. Where do we end up, though? So Train second. What's our third? I mean, we can keep going with this one. There's no need to slow it down. Give us the rest.
Train is definitely a map that both of these teams are extremely strong on. Obviously, Fallen is a god at Train, so we know that MIBR is there. We haven't seen Renegades yet this event, but like I said, that was their best map coming into the major, and there's a reason why teams have been vetoing it against them.
I think MIBR is very happy considering the veto, how it played out right now. Renegades have literally picked into MIBR and their Dust 2, which is, as you said, they went back on record saying that they were one of the best teams on Dust 2, at least in practice, but they didn't really get to play it. Now, coming into this tournament, they haven't played Dust 2 in an official matchup with this lineup, so we don't know what to expect from MIBR, but them leaving in the map must suggest that they can play it to a high level. Then you move on to Train, which is a map we saw them beat NIP on 16-6 in a very dominant fashion, and on the third map, you have a Mirage, which is a map they haven't lost with this lineup. So all 3 maps right now is maps MIBR can win. They are super happy about this veto.
Well, Renegades, they like to come back, don't they? Let's not forget that deficit versus Astralis. They've given MIBR a satisfying map pool, and we are going to be getting this show started. Let's go head over into the Spodek and start day 2 of the champion stage here at the Katowice Major.
Fans from around the world have gathered in the legendary Spodek Arena. Here in Katowice, only the best of the best compete to make history. Players that have poured their heart and soul into the game will become immortalized. The Major is the true leveling ground of CSGO. It is prestige that is being played for. It is the top of the Counter-Strike world. This isn't just the Intel Extreme Masters. This is the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2019 Major Championship.
Oh my word! Here we are, day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters 2019. Who's ready? I love this place, the Spodek, the house that esports built. And I wasn't here yesterday, but I watched, my mouth wet, watching what went on in this building, from that amazing speech that Carmack did through to watching ENCE do something we didn't think would happen. Who's ready for day 2? I said, who's ready for day 2? Because we are playing off for this trophy and the lion's share of $1 million. 2 quarterfinals today, 2 best of 3s. We will see on this stage later on. Any fans of NIP? Any fans of Astralis? Okay. But right now it is time for our first quarterfinal. Are you ready? No. Are you ready? Are you ready? Please welcome the Renegades! The biggest stage they have been on, they are ready to go one step further and make it to a semi-finals, but in their way, the team that has the old band back together. Please welcome to the stage, MIBR! It's time to rumble, baby, and it's time for you to tell me who's winning this. Is it going to be Renegades? Is it going to be MIBR? One more time. Is it Renegades? Is it MIBR? Let's get it on!
What an experience this must be, and it is truly such a contrast. You do have the Brazilian family of MIBR. They're no stranger to stages like this. They're no stranger to the pressures that this stage and a crowd like that bring. On the other side, Gratisfaction, I saw a smile creeping onto his face. The 22-year-old from New Zealand. He's a long way from home, and this is the biggest stage, his first major. He's walked out, and now he's got to beat the Goliath that is MIBR.
You know, Alex, before this major started, I would have said, yeah, this stage is going to shrink Renegades big time. But after watching what ENCE did yesterday, I don't think it matters. I think these players are so in the zone. They're so prepared at this point. They have their game plan set, and the crowd won't really affect them. Now, the crowd it can humble you, obviously, And if you're losing, it could be the turning point, obviously.
I think it's a fair concern to raise, at least. Gratification, first time on a big stage, and what a stage it is. It's one of the biggest in the entire world of Counter-Strike. So him having a vital role within Renegades, right? Being the AVP player, going up against a guy like Fallen, he needs to keep his cool if Renegades wants any chance of winning this series.
And have you seen the AWPing stats for Renegades? It is so locked on Gratisfaction. I think there was one other AWP kill on Azza, likely picked it up and accidentally no-scoped someone, but either way, they are dedicated to seeing what the New Zealander can do on that AWP. And on Dust 2, that's our first map, fellas. Let's start thinking. Thinking caps on. Renegades have clearly been preparing something special for this.
Yeah, when I originally saw Renegades play against Vitality, I didn't think they would be prepared on Dust 2. They dismantled Vitality, though, and a large reason being is because I think JKS and Jacob at the B bomb site are such a solid duo. Now, I do think their A bomb site is a little bit weak, but I don't know if MIBR is going to know to attack that. I don't think they expected Renegades to pick this map.
It's going to be super interesting. Dust 2 is one of those maps where you can put on a very fast pace if you're on that T side, and especially if you're MIBR. You have guys like Fur, you have a Fallen who can be very aggressive with the AVP, Phelps as well for that matter. There's a lot of pressure that can be applied to this defense, so this will be a test of times for the Renegades.
And we're going to see MIBR start on the CT side where Fallen is going to have that off, and he's going to be really aggressive. Renegades has the lowest win percent of when they're 4v5 on T side so far. So if Fallen gets those opening picks, it could be GG early.
Well, they call it a team, right? They're a team that you have to beat. You can't beat the individuals. Yes. I guess that stat is testament to it.
For sure, and adding on to that stat, MIBR is currently the 5th highest rated team within this major at playing from ahead, playing those 5 versus 4 situations. So you cannot give up those first frags if you're Renegades. You gotta stay alive, you gotta play as a team, and you gotta make sure you don't give anything to MIBR before you attack the bomb sites.
Yeah, and something I will say to look out for from Renegades is their pistol rounds. They have had some of the most innovative pistol rounds I have ever seen a team bring to a major, and I doubt we're going to see anything different because they've clearly prepared for so far.
We saw ridiculous pistol rounds from Flame. MIBR are taking on Renegades, and if you catch a play you want to see, do be sure to submit it. Is the Mountain Dew AMP Game